Well, Mark Patterson, welcome back to the football club.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that, shall we? So is it like coming home in many respects?
I suppose it is. I spent a lot of years here at different stages of my career, playing and off the field, so it's really enjoyable. It's nice to come back. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of people who've been here a while, and good set of staff around the building that's been here a long time. So yeah, it's nice to be back.
So correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're head of coaching development. So just talk us through the role, Pato, and what roles and responsibilities you're being entrusted with.
So part of the role is to try and help the coaches, just to give a bit of advice if there's any that they needed, and just to basically guide them on pathways for CPD, to make them better, to be there for a sounding board if there's any questions they want to ask, and just generally try to improve the standard of coaching across the academy. I mean, we've got a lot of really good coaches here, and the one thing they are is they're loyal and committed, so it should make my job relatively easy, really, because you know that you're working with people who really want to get better.
And that's great, because I suppose the focus is not just making the players better, but you need to bring the coaches to a level where they can get the maximum out of the players that they are coaching. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, the ultimate aim is to get the players better so they eventually come and play on this pitch outside here, and that's what we're aiming for, and you want to try and get the best you can. I mean, a lot of the staff who work here are part-time, but they're committed to what they try and do, and any advice and guidance that I can give them that could aid them, I'm more than willing to do it.
I believe also you're looking at the loan players that have obviously gone out on loan. I think there's 5 or 6 out at the moment, but I gather you're helping and making sure they're in the right places at the right time, and we've got people actually watching them when they are playing. Yeah,
part of my role is a link between the first team squad and the loan players and where they are. Like you say, they're all at different clubs across the county, so go and watch them play, file reports, have a meeting with the manager and his senior staff and explain what's been going on, and good and bad, how they've done, and try to get as many reports back from the loan club's staff to see how they've done, because obviously their ideas could be different to ours. But just generally get out and watch them play, and so I've scattered around the county watching them at different places, and it's been really enjoyable. It's good to see them play, catch up with a lot of old friends around the circuit who I haven't seen for a few years, but ultimately the aim is to make sure that the players are doing what's expected and are in the right places at the right times, because sometimes they could get lost between the cracks, and it's just important that they've got somebody that they can talk to with a bit of advice about what they're doing and where they need to be.
Lots of experience here now, Pato, particularly in youth setup. You've got Brian Ball, who's been here I think over 20 years now. Joe Dunn's coming in as youth team manager. He's managed at first team level, as have you as head of coach development. There's a lot of very experienced people out there who hopefully can sort of pass that down, not just to the staff but to the players.
So the word experience, you change that for old, is that what you say?
I'm going to stick with experience.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
anyway. I mean, you know, the under 18 lads at present, having someone like Joe to lead them and direct them and make them better players is great. And you know, they don't get at our level. That's a great achievement for Joe to be working at a club like ours. But again, you see the players that came in the competition against Fulham 2 weeks ago. They were excellent, and that's down to the hard work that goes in with Joe. I mean, day in, day out, he's pushing them to be better. He's guiding them to be better. He's making them better players, and hopefully that they'll go on and have sustained careers at whatever level they get to achieve. As you say, Brian's been here a long, long time, so you know he certainly is experienced. But yeah, I mean, it can only help. We've got experience between a lot of us of different, good and bad. I mean, we've all had some good and bad experiences in football, and any guidance that we can give them to help the players get better, I'm sure that we can do it.
That Fulham game that you mentioned, as staff, it must be nice not just to see youth players out on the pitch, but actually making an impact. There's a great deal of difference. I mean, a player might get on for 5 minutes, and you think that's great, but to see them score and have an impact on the game, that must be very encouraging.
It is, because that's the levels they've got to get to. You know, over the years up and down the country, there's been a lot of young players that have come through, and that's usually the starting point, is those kind of competitions. And to see our lads playing in that game and doing well and doing themselves proud and shows that they can reach those levels. The next step is sustaining it and being part of the manager's squad on a regular basis, which is really hard, because you look at the levels the first team play at the minute and where they are. How do you break into that? And that's why people like Joe are worth their weight in gold, and because he'll push them on, and he understands what's required to be a player at that level, and hopefully we'll get some through, and it'll continue to happen over the coming years.
Now it's Youth Development Week, Mark. I made the point to Brian, well, I suppose for you guys it's a development week every week. 17s beat Colchester 1-0 on Tuesday, which is a really good result. We had those lads playing against Fulham. It's been a really good time for the youth setup and very apt to talk about development week, really.
Yeah, it is. I mean, what you see on the pitch is the culmination of all the work of all the staff. You know, you've seen a good result the other night in performance in a very competitive competition. And for the youngsters to go and play on Colchester's main pitch is great, because you know it's a great night out for them as much as anything. And to come away with a 1-0 result is very positive. But there's a lot goes on behind the scenes to get those players on that pitch, and a lot of unsung heroes up and down the country at every academy that runs up and down the country. It's not just the senior staff who do all the work. It starts at young ages. You know, every club has a young player that's come through from 7, 8 and 9, and that's the development staff. Then you come into the academy, you've got all the backroom staff who make sure that they're registered, make sure they're clear to play, and then you progress further, and you've got the coaches at the part-time coaches at Canterbury that we have, and who put in hours up and down the country with the players, and then it progresses further, and hopefully by this point they're getting towards the levels that require to be senior youth academy players at Gillingham, and you know, these people need the recognition, because nobody really knows who they are, but without them it all falls down. So I think Youth Development Week should you know, encompass them and all the efforts that they put in behind the scenes. Absolutely
right. I mean, it's a very large jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? And there's lots of very important pieces, whether they're volunteering, whether they're part-time or full-time, everyone's got a part to play.
Definitely. Scouts, you know, without scouts we don't see the players, without the office staff they don't get registered properly, without the coaches, without the fitness guys downstairs, they don't achieve levels that are required. So, like you say, it's a jigsaw, and hopefully when it's all complete there's somebody comes out the other end and ends up on this pitch.
And just finally, you've been in post now a few weeks, Pat, so how much are you enjoying it? Perhaps a slightly different role. I think you might have had a similar role before, but slightly different to what you've been doing in the recent past.
It is different. I've been academy manager for the last couple of times at different clubs, and whilst I've enjoyed that, this is a little bit different, but it's always enjoyable, because it's nice to go and watch the young fellas playing, and it's nice to go and see the staff and just have a chat with them and help them the best I can. And it's like some of them are sailing along, you know, they're going really well, but there'll always be something. It's like a player, you can always develop, so hopefully the experience that we've got in the building now, we can help the coaches and the staff progress to become better coaches, and you know, you never know where they might end up themselves.
Lovely. Mark, nice to have you back. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.